Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy SCGRANT here, and we're back with another mainline video. And this time, full disclaimer, this is a non-spoiler review of Digital Circus: The Last Act, as I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to actually get myself a ticket to go see it in theaters. But here's the thing, I actually got to see it twice. Once for the full experience, and the second one to basically jot down personal notes that I had. I even had a notepad. Maybe I actually was able to get to watch the movie a second time. I actually got to watch it, yes, for the joy of jot down certain notes. So remember, for the full disclaimer, this entire video, and as you saw in the title of the video, this is my first impressions on watching the last act, the very last episode of the Digital Circus, which is an hour long. So, oh boy. So here's how it went down, and to give you a recollections, I had posted previous Digital Circus videos, pretty much reviewing all 8 previous episodes. The other 8 episodes, from start to finish, they were all available on my main channel, so if you have not watched those, go check it out. Anyway, without further ado, let's hop into what I thought of pretty much Digital Circus. Remember, non-spoilers. I can't say anything because as you check the title and for when this video goes out, we're only 2 days away from the public release of the 9th episode getting released on YouTube and Netflix. So that means that I pretty much put a personal embargo on myself. I could not say anything about what I saw in the theatrical release until eventually everyone else until the public releases out. So yes, so how it all went down is that when I first got into the theaters, man, I basically did what I usually do. I sat onto my undesignated seat, man, had some snacks, goddamn snacks, the snack bar is freaking unbelievable. But yeah, I got my snacks and everything, and got my drinks, and basically sat down and watched the movie, bro. But once again, there were parts of the movie. Once again, we got through episode 8, which was obviously about the whole cane crashing out thing. Like, I already discussed that in my episode 8 review. But by the time we jumped to episode 9, I was fully ready to go. But to give you guys a heads up, once again, pretty much after what happened with episode 7, people were asking if the premise is how many can actually get out of Digital Circus. Jax pressed that red button and saying, yeah, Jax actually was right about the whole ordeal. Well, led to episode 8, and you all know how that happened, but since it was released in early March. But it kept me thinking, and what it went down, like I said before, what we left off with episode 8 is the fact is that King got deleted, and Kinger, yeah, that's how it all went down. King got deleted, Kinger accidentally deleted Kane, but was it really an accident? Was there more to it that we don't know? Remember, that's where episode 9 comes in which I can't spoil here, because once again, because when I watched the whole thing, I can tell you this, it may have answered all of the questions that was left over from episode 8, but once again, there was so much going on in episode 9 as a whole that I can't say much. I just can't, because once again, there was so much to process that I had to put on the notes, but I can't say those notes because once again, the public version of this episode has yet to get released, so pretty much my mouth is sealed. But I can tell you one thing though, I can pretty much tell you this, and pardon me if I'm kind of going on and off, if you have not figured it out, once again, the hype around episode 9 was coming. Once again, the fact that this was the end of another indie show. If you recall, I already did Meta Runner, Sunset Paradise, and Murder Drones that were previous production shows that already had the conclusions. And the fact is that Digital Circus was the next to go. It was bound to happen eventually, because we got Gaslight District, Knights of Guinevere, Gameverse, and Lackadaisy on our minds now. But the fact that pretty much that Goosework is finally putting this show behind her, bro. Because, yeah, things have been crazy these past few months with the Digital Circus. And don't get me started on the whole leak situation, because once again, your boys have managed to avoid it like it was the plague. He had to avoid spoilers. I didn't even know what was really going on. I was busy elsewhere doing my gaming channel. I was doing other stuff. But once again, once the theatrical release was finally available to the public, I was able to get my ticket. Well, twice. Like, I had to get one for my first time viewing, and my second one to eventually do a rewatch to basically get down everything I need to know for what I eventually do. Because here's what you guys need to figure out. when it comes to me doing videos like this that involve containing non-spoilers, it was obvious that I was going to be approaching this with a great assault. Because once again, there were certain things that I can and can't do when it comes to making certain content like this. And basically doing commentary that revolves around pretty much episodes that have yet to get released. Like, they got early releases in limited locations, but once again, when it comes to the full release, it has to be available on interwebs, basically YouTube and Netflix, as it was stated in the episode 9 trailer that was released by the producers themselves. They could not. Once again, June 19th was the end game for Digital Circus, for everybody to see, instead of being limited to the theaters, because it was a limited time only. But once again, I was essentially, man, I did not expect it. Once again, I came a long way since I started reviewing Digital Circus. It was nearly a year ago, like more than a year ago, I reviewed the first 2 episodes, then did 3 and 4, then 5 and 6, then just not too long ago, I did 7 and 8. And now with the 9th episode, I'm afraid that I will have to come clean with everybody. For me to actually give my final thoughts on this entire video, I will have to eventually make a pretty much a 5+ minute short video, pretty much give you guys my final thoughts on the last act, because I can't say much here, but I can give you this. Lots went down in episode 9. Lots went down, and once again, there's a reason why you're seeing reviews related to episode 9 started popping up, and the fact that these reviews were most likely to not contain any spoilers. They wanted to avoid it until eventually the public version comes out. This was actually one of the things that I had to avoid like the plague, because I did not expect that the things that, once again, they did have a limited release, but once again, episode 9 did the come with its hurdles before it got released in theaters. You already know what I'm talking about. And you already know what's been happening these past weeks. But once again, your boy has done the unthinkable and actually avoided it at all cost, by any means necessary. It was shocking that I was able to get this far, basically without getting, spoiled or anything related to episode 9. But I wanted to give it my first time experience watching in theaters. So basically, I had to make sure that with my filters on my laptop, I had to make sure that anything related to episode 9 had to be filtered out until eventually that pretty much I got to see it for myself in theaters. But now that I have twice, all I can say is that, well, you guys really want to know what I feel about it? Well, I'll give you this. Originally, this video was meant to be pretty much the end game for Digital Circus, that I no longer have to talk about it. But because this video came out at least a couple days before the YouTube release, I will have to eventually make a small part 2, like pretty much a small second part to it. Like, this is the main video, but I have to make an additional video to it to give you guys my final thoughts on the last act, as it was bound to happen eventually. Because basically, just recently, Help Boss just got its 12 short coming out, which is called the M Training video. This means that my very next video after this one will be jumping back into Help Boss. But as per usual, you guys gotta wait 2 weeks to basically get that video. Because basically it's around Independence Day, basically, because I live in the U.S., the good old U.S. of A. It makes sense that I eventually have to make a video related to the immediate murder professionals. But back to Digital Circus. I am glad that this show has finally come to its conclusion. That means that not only do I no longer talk about Digital Circus, but yeah, I can not claim to say that it has come to my attention that I can finally say I can rest easy, know that I don't have to talk about or pretty much discuss anything related to Digital Circus anymore. I've already did my videos regarding the whole show itself. You can go check them out on the main channel if you want to. They're all on the main channel, and it'll be there indefinitely, because once again, all you guys gotta look forward to is pretty much my official final thoughts on the Digital Circus. It's just crazy. We have come a long way, guys. I'd like to thank you all for basically being a part of the journey from me basically reviewing Digital Circus, because once again, I've already did Murder Drones, I did Meta Runner, I did Sunset Paradise. Now we gotta know what's to look forward to with pretty much Crystal Productions now that the Gaslight Division has been greenlit, Knights of Guinevere has been greenlit. I don't know about the Gameverse though. I don't know about that. That'll ever get greenlit. And Laxy Daisy has already got some episodes in the works, so yeah, even though they are being presented by Glitch Productions, I'm looking forward to seeing what goes on with those 3Ks during the 1920s Prohibition. Anyway, that's all I gotta say about this about the Digital Circus Last Act. Expect my final thoughts later down the road at the end of July. Anyway, take care.